Wow, what a week in women's sports. Seriously, week 16 was just wild. We saw some huge names fall, and at the same time, we saw champions prove exactly why they're at the top. So let's dive into all that dominance and disruption.
So the big question is, who really won Week 16? Was it the Goliaths, the established giants just flexing their power? Or did the Davids, the underdogs, steal the show? Well, the thing is, the answer isn't that simple. And honestly, that's what makes the story so much fun to tell.
We have to kick things off with the disruptions, because let's be real, nothing gets the sports world buzzing like a huge upset. And man, this past week really delivered. Okay, first up, the soccer pitch for a massive World Cup qualifier. So you've got France, right? A total powerhouse. They had the ball for over 70% of the game. I mean, they were just completely running the show. But as you can see right here, all that possession doesn't guarantee a win. Nope. The Netherlands, against all odds, pulled off a stunning 2-1 victory. So you're probably wondering, how in the world did they pull that off? I mean, this wasn't just any win. This was France's first loss of the entire qualifying campaign. Think about that. It came down to a young, fearless Dutch team that was just clinically efficient. They basically weathered the French storm, and when they got their chances, bam, they scored. Renee Van Osten and Esme Brox delivered the goals. Just a masterclass in smart, tactical soccer. And believe it or not, the upsets didn't stop there. We're going to switch gears now, literally, and head over to the brutal, punishing cobblestones of northern France. We're talking about one of cycling's most legendary and, frankly, most feared races, the Paris-Roubaix Femmes. There's a reason they call this race the Hell of the North. It is just brutal. And this year, it gave us an absolutely career-defining moment for German champion Franziska Koch. Get this, she takes the biggest win of her entire life by out-sprinting the one and only Marianne Vos, a true legend of the sport, in this breathtaking shoulder-to-shoulder sprint to the finish inside that famous Velodrome. Just incredible. You literally just saw a new legend being made. And hey, don't just take my word for how massive this was. Listen to her own words. Franziska Koch just perfectly captures that raw emotion of making a lifelong dream come true. It's exactly these kinds of moments, They just remind you why we love an underdog story so much. Okay, so for every giant that stumbled, there were others that stood taller than ever, basically reminding the entire world why they're the ones on top. So let's flip the script. Time to look at the powerhouses who were just absolutely reigning supreme. So at the same time the Dutch were pulling off that miracle, other European giants were just putting on a show, a total clinic. You had Italy just crushing Serbia 6-0, Germany took apart Austria 5-1, and Norway put up 5 goals against Slovenia. Look, these weren't just wins. These were statements, pure declarations of dominance. And you have to understand the sheer scale of these powerhouse matchups. It's just breathtaking. Over 60,000 people packed into the legendary Wembley Stadium in London. And what did they see? They saw England grind out a tough 1-0 win against the world champions, Spain. This just proves it, right? This isn't some niche event. This is primetime sports on the biggest stage you can imagine. And this theme of dominance, it went way beyond the soccer pitch. Let's go to the ice, where the Wisconsin Badgers dynasty just keeps on rolling, grabbing another NCAA title in an overtime thriller. Then you jump to the MMA octagon. You've got champions like Zhang Wei Li and Valentina Shevchenko who just look unbeatable right now. And over on the cricket pitch, the best teams are literally rewriting the playbook, using these super aggressive, high-scoring strategies. The message from all of them was loud and clear. The top dogs are only getting better. All right, so we've got these two powerful, competing stories happening at once, right? The underdogs are rising up, but the champions are tightening their grip. So, what's the big picture? What does this all really tell us about the state of women's sports today? Well, for one thing, these upsets have real, immediate consequences. Remember that incredible win by Franziska Koch at Paris-Roubaix? Well, that one race, that single victory, gave her team, FDJ United Suez, enough points to rocket them up to the #1 spot in the entire world. Just like that. A little disruption on the cobblestones leads to a massive shakeup on the world stage. So that begs the question, where are the next challengers, the next champions going to come from? To answer that, you've got to look at the development pipeline. This is that whole system. Think of the NCAA here in the States that's designed to find and grow young talent, getting them ready for the pros, for the big leagues, whether that's the WNBA or the Olympics. And let me tell you,
That pipeline is absolutely buzzing with talent right now. In gymnastics, we're right in the middle of the NCAA championship season with all the top programs going head to head. You absolutely need to keep an eye on athletes like Haley Bryant from LSU. She is just a machine, a model of consistency and pure excellence. She's the kind of star we're all going to be watching for years.
Okay, let's switch over to track and field, where right now it is all about the long game. See, April isn't about setting world records. It's about building that foundation for the summer. But even so, we're already seeing some jaw-dropping early season marks, like Yaroslava Mahuchik clearing an incredible 2.01 meters in the high jump. That's not just a good start, it's a huge sign of what's to come this summer. It's going to be electric.
All right, let's wrap this up. Let's bring it all together. So what does this wild week of jaw-dropping upsets and dominant masterclasses, what does it all signal for the future?
Here's the key takeaway. It wasn't one thing or the other. This week was the perfect showcase of that amazing tension that makes sports so compelling, right? We saw underdogs take down giants in spectacular fashion. And in the very same week, we saw champions double down and prove exactly why they're the ones with the crown.
So this leaves us with a really fascinating question, doesn't it? Is the overall gap in talent actually closing? Are we headed for an era of more upsets and total unpredictability? Or are the champions just getting stronger? Are they being pushed to an even higher level by all this new competition? You know, the truth is probably a little bit of both. And that's what makes us so exciting to watch. One thing's for sure, I'll be watching.